In this last video, we're going to look at numbers 19 and 20. Find out how long it takes a $3,000 investment to become $5,000 if it is invested at 7% compounded monthly. Round to the nearest tenth of a year. Okay, now we have a formula here. A equals P parentheses 1 plus R over N to the power of NT. And we have a description here. A is the amount after some time. P is the principal, that's the initial investment. R is the annual interest rate. N is the number of times the money is compounded per year. And then T is the time measured in years that the money is in the account. So going back to this question, let's see if we can label as many of these as the information is given for. Find out how long it takes for a $3,000 investment. Okay, so that's the initial investment. So here, P is equal to $3,000. To become $5,000, so that's the money in the account after a while. So A is $5,000. And it says find out how long it takes. So T is the question. We don't know this value. The money's invested at 7%, so that gives us the interest rate to be 0.07. We have to write that as a decimal. And then N is the number of times that the money is compounded or interest is paid per year. And that's monthly. How many times does monthly happen per year? Well, 12. So N is 12. So from this equation, we're given 4 of the 5 values. A, P, R, N are all given, and T is the unknown. So let's plug in everything. 5,000 equals 3,000, parentheses, 1 plus 0.07 over 12 to the power of 12t. So now, our unknown is here in the exponent. This is an exponential equation. And to solve an exponential equation, we want to get the exponential isolated. Let's add the numbers in the parentheses first. 5,000 equals 3,000. And then here we have 12.07 over 12 to the power of 12t. So to isolate the exponential, this is the exponential part. We're going to divide both sides by 3,000. We would get 5 over 3 equals 12.07 over 12, all to the power of 12t. Okay? And so now we're going to take the logarithm of both sides. We'll use the natural logarithm. ln of the left side equals ln of the right side. And what this allows us to do is, using the power rule, the exponent becomes a factor. So we have ln of 5 over 3 equals 12t ln of 12.07 over 12. Now the thing we want to isolate is the variable, which is t. So to get t by itself, we're going to divide both sides. So ln 5 over 3 is going to be divided by 12 ln of 12.07 divided by 12. Okay, and if we plug this in the calculator, we're going to take the time it takes for this $3,000 to turn into $5,000. The calculator gives us approximately 7.32 years. So it would take a little more than 7 years for the money to become $5,000. Now this last question is about the height s of a rock after t seconds when it's propelled straight up with an initial speed of 128 feet per second from an initial height of 10 feet. Can be modeled by this function s of t equals a quadratic. And how long will it take for the rock to reach its maximum height? And what is the maximum height of the rock? Well, how long will it take means we're looking for the time t, And then the maximum height is, we're looking for s at that value of t. Okay? Now let's think about quadratic functions. Quadratic functions have a quadratic term, a linear term, and a constant term. And we identify these coefficients as a, b, and c. We know that when a is negative, the parabola opens downwards, so it looks like this, and it does indeed have a maximum point, which is good because that's what they're asking us to find. And that maximum point is where the vertex is. And so that's really all we're asked to do. The vertex has coordinates negative b over 2a minus the discriminant over 4a. All right, let's move this over a little bit and let's calculate. So negative b over 2a would be negative 64 over negative 32, and then minus the discriminant over 4a over 64 with the negative sign. Now let's calculate the discriminant separately. B squared minus 4ac is equal to 64 squared minus 4 times negative 16 times 10. Okay? 64 squared is 4,096. And then this will be plus 640. $47.36. So here we have 47.36 divided by 64. And if I simplify this, my vertex would be 2, comma, 74. So this is t, and this is s. So to answer this question, it would take 2 seconds to reach a maximum height of 74 feet. And that ends the problem.